Writing a will isn't something most of us look forward to. It feels heavy, maybe even uncomfortable. But if you're a Muslim living in Singapore, this is one area you really shouldn't put off. Because without a plan, your estate could be distributed in ways you didn't intend, and that might cause disputes or unnecessary stress for the people you love. In this video, I'll walk you through what the Muslim intestacy law is in Singapore, how Faraid works, what assets are and aren't included, and why having a will still matters even when Faraid already applies. Assalamualaikum everyone, I'm Firdaus from Dollar Bureau, a personal finance platform that talks about insurance, investments, and financial planning. Alright, let's start from the ground up. What is the Muslim intestacy law in Singapore? Muslim intestacy law decides how a Muslim's estate is divided when they pass away without a will. Unlike non-Muslims who fall under the civil intestacy laws, Muslims follow Sharia principles. In Singapore, this is governed by the Administration of Muslim Law Act, or AMLA for short. This law ensures that estates are divided according to Faraid, which is the Islamic law of inheritance. And to make sure this is done properly, MUIS, the Islamic Religious Council of Singapore, issues an inheritance certificate, also known as the Sijil Faraid. This certificate spells out exactly who the heirs are and how much they are entitled to. So in short, AMLA sets the legal framework and Faraid provides the formula. And that brings us to the next big question. What exactly is Faraid? Think of Faraid as the clear set of rules for dividing a Muslim's estate. It comes directly from the Quran and Hadith, and it's not negotiable. The shares are fixed. For example, sons usually inherit twice the shares of daughters. Husband and wives each have fixed portions depending on whether there are children. Parents too are entitled to specific shares, and if they are not around, inheritance can even extend outward to grandparents, siblings, aunts, and uncles. The beauty of Faraid is that it is designed to prevent arguments. Everyone knows upfront what their share is meant to be. But on the flip side, it can feel rigid. You can't decide to exclude someone or just give everything to one child, even if that's what you personally prefer. And this is where things can get a bit tricky in modern life because not all assets fall neatly into Faraid. So let's clear that up. What properties do not fall under Faraid? Here's where many people get caught off guard. Not every asset you own will be divided under Faraid. Let's say you own a property in joint tenancy with your spouse. The rule of survivorship applies, which means that your spouse will automatically inherit the whole property. It doesn't get divided under Faraid. The same goes for your CPF savings where you've made a nomination. Once you nominate someone, these funds go straight to them, bypassing Faraid entirely. Insurance policies also work the same way. If you've listed a beneficiary, the payout goes directly to that person. On top of that, before any division happens, there are deductions. Funeral expenses come first, debts needs to be cleared, and any religious obligations like unpaid zakat, fidya, or vows you've made must be settled. Only after that is the remaining estate distributed. Now that we've looked at what is excluded, let's talk about what's included. Anything that you own solely in your name is generally included. That means property. So in the case where your spouse has passed and the entire property now belongs to you, when you pass, this will fall under Faraid. Money in your bank accounts, investments like shares or unit trusts, business ownerships, vehicles, jewelry, household items, and even cash kept at home. If it's legally yours and not nominated or jointly owned, it will form part of your estate that's distributed according to Faraid. And once it's part of the estate, here's how the division works. The formula here is clear. Sons generally inherit double the share of daughters. Spouses and parents receive their fixed entitlements. And if there are no immediate male heirs, the estate extends outward to more distant relatives. This structure ensures fairness and reduces disputes, but it also means there's little flexibility. You can't, for instance, decide to give more to your daughter just because she's the only one caring for you in your old age. The shares are set and they must be followed. I suggest using the Sharia Court's Faraid calculator to get a rough estimation on who gets what. I'll link to it in the description below. So that raises an important question. If Faraid already dictates everything, do Muslims still need a will? The short answer is yes, and here's why. While Faraid determines the bulk of how your estate is divided, a will gives you flexibility in other areas. For example, you can use a will to distribute up to one third of your estate to people outside of Faraid. That could be non-Faraid beneficiaries such as non-Muslims, adopted children, stepchildren, friends, or even charities you care about. If you are a Muslim revert and your parents are not Muslims, these can be given to your non-Muslim family members too. You can also use a will to appoint guardians for your children, which is crucial if they're still minors. And you get to choose an executor, someone you trust to manage your estate and make sure everything runs smoothly. Without a will, these decisions are left to the courts or your family, which can and will slow things down and sometimes even cause conflict. I've heard of cases where the estate hasn't been distributed even after 10 years because of family disputes. With a will, I've seen the estate distributed from as early as 2 months. Of course, there are some limits that you need to be aware of. A Muslim will cannot override Faraid. The fixed shares still apply. You can't disinherit someone who is entitled under Faraid, and you can only allocate up to one third of your estate in your will. Anything more than that requires the mutual consent of your heirs. So, while a will gives you added control, it doesn't replace Faraid. Think of it as working alongside it. That said, there are still very clear advantages to having a will. So even with these limits, having a will is still powerful. It lets you provide for people who wouldn't normally inherit. It lets you choose someone you trust to handle your estate, and it often makes the whole process faster, easier, and less expensive for your family. Without a will, your loved ones might face delays, and I've heard of cases of multiple years, higher costs, and more stress at an already difficult time. With a will, you make things simpler and clearer for them. So, if you're planning to write one, how do you make sure it's valid? If you're thinking of writing a will, there are a few things you should know of. You must be at least 21 years old and of sound mind and writing it voluntarily. The will must be in writing, signed and witnessed by two male Muslim adults or four female Muslims who are not beneficiaries. And of course, it must follow Sharia principles. That means debts and obligations come first, and only one third can go to non Faraid beneficiaries. While it's not compulsory, registering your will with the Singapore Academy of Law can help your family locate where you kept your will. I've included a link down below. Before we wrap up, let's run through some quick frequently asked questions. Number one, can you ignore Faraid? No, the law requires it and it's a religious obligation. But as mentioned, your CPF and insurance nominations does not fall under Faraid. So if you like someone to receive a larger portion, you can use these as a tool to gift someone more of your estate. Number two is, what if there are no heirs? If no Faraid beneficiaries exist, the estate goes to the Baitul Mal, which is the Muslim public trustee managed for the benefit of the Muslim community. So, should you write a Muslim will in Singapore? Absolutely. Faraid ensures fairness, but a will gives you flexibility, clarity, and control over up to one third of your estate and the speed of your estate distribution. More importantly, it prevents disputes and ensures your loved ones are taken care of in line with your faith and personal wishes. If you're unsure where to start, don't guess. We work with specialized Islamic estate planners that can help you write up your wills and ensure that your assets are distributed according to your wishes. I'll leave a link in the description below to connect you with one of our trusted Islamic estate planners. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical financial tips. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.